Hello, welcome back. I'm Lori Williams, and today I want to talk to you about how your past does not matter. Now, I'm sure you're going to be like, oh, but Lori, this happened and that really hurt me, and this happened and that really hurt me. And this is not about invalidating that. The exact opposite. This video, my intention is to teach you that where you are now is keeping you stuck from moving past the past. And that even though what may have happened to you in the past wasn't your doing, it wasn't your free will, it wasn't even a choice of yours, you do have 100% choice right now on if you want to continue to let it ruin your life or not. If you want to keep dragging your past into your present and into your future, that's 100% your choice. So I walk my clients through this, this is like a big part of their healing, is being able to release the past. And honestly, the first step is to recognizing that your past is not serving you in any way, shape, or form. It's not helping you. It's doing nothing for you other than continuously re-victimizing you. The emotions that you're holding on to from your past are only re-victimizing you. That's all they're doing. It's like, something happened and now it's like those same emotions, those same feelings are just smacking you like straight in the face from the time that you wake up to the time that you go to sleep at night. And I mean, we do this essentially because we're not taught how to get past that point. We're not taught how to process our emotions. And the truth of it is, trauma is simply an unprocessed emotion. Those emotions can be very big, huge, in fact. Those emotions can be very deep-seated. Those emotions are typically also tied to beliefs and patterns, especially if the trauma had to do with something where you perceived, or your body perceived, that your life was in jeopardy in that moment. Everything you have been doing since that point, all your beliefs, your patterns, habits, everything I guarantee you, will stem from that one place, that trauma. And if we have multiple traumas, then we have multiple starting points. But we very rarely, unless you have been able to release your traumas and you've been able to get on the other side of using them to empower you rather than continue to allow them to keep you stuck. Until you get there, it feels impossible to get there. It feels impossible to truly get there and feel like there's hope. And I'm here to tell you today, not only is there hope, but that you're worthy of having that hope. What happened to you, what you went through, does not define you. Stop letting it define you. You'll probably notice, for anybody that's been following me for a while, I don't talk about my traumas anymore. Very rarely do I talk about them. I mean, if I need to, I will. And even in sharing the traumas that I do share about, I don't go into the depth of it anymore because I've just released it to have nothing left over my life. And when I was able to sit with those emotions that were coming up around the traumas that I had, and I realized that I was allowing these emotions to stay unfelt, as if I had some kind of guilt and shame to carry around them, and the truth of it is, it was never my guilt and shame to carry. That is the truth of it. So I encourage you to start sitting with your feelings. Don't sit with the big ones. Pay attention to your mental health and your emotional health. Like, this is not meant to cause a psychotic break of any point. But start where you can, start where you're comfortable. If you're feeling sadness right now, sit with that sadness. But don't buy into it. Don't let it attach to you. You can feel sad without owning it. You can feel angry without owning it. It's like, it's just here. It's just like an emotion. It just kind of like floats in and it sits here, and you're going to observe it. It has zero attachment to you. It's just sitting here, just hanging out. Allow yourself to learn to sit with your emotions. Would I suggest that you start dealing with your trauma emotions right away? Absolutely not. Like I said, this is not designed to cause a mental or emotional break. If you're feeling angry one day, you don't know why, sit with it. Feeling happy, sit with it. You're going to find out that when you don't attach yourself to your emotions have no control over you. And then that's when you're able to step more into your own power, into your own control of being able to use your free will and free choice to truly live the life that you want to. And as you work on this, the more you get into this, the more you're going to gain confidence and clarity that those unresolved emotions around your trauma are literally just sitting there waiting for you to deal with them. And when you're ready, you can deal with them, and you can feel them, and you can release them and forgive yourself for holding on to them. Forgive yourself for not knowing better until you did know better. And if you can, forgive the other person. Not to say that what they did was okay or that you're validating in any way, shape, or form of what they did. But when you forgive someone else, you're essentially saying, I can't change what happened, but I no longer choose to carry it with me. It's like, I'm dropping it right here, and I'm going to go continue living my life. The one thing that I remember, once I realized that these traumas that I was holding on to were essentially me letting the person that caused the trauma to continue to have a power over my life. That pissed me off to no end. And that was my driving force for healing, was being like, oh no, they've taken enough from me. They've taken enough of my time. They don't get my present. They don't get my future. That's mine. And literally that day, I refused to carry the trauma with me anymore. And I put it down. That has been, well, one trauma I healed, my two biggest traumas. One I healed probably about 3 years ago, and the other one I think was maybe, they're all in around the same time, 2.5, 3 years ago. And they have absolutely no power over me. I've gone, since healing the traumas, I've been able to go in and look at the beliefs, the patterns, and things like that. And even, to recognize that I have thought negatively of myself since having those traumas. And I literally have spent the rest of my life, like from those traumas on, trying to prove my worth and my value to people. I was like, what a huge disservice I've been doing to myself and my whole life. So I encourage you to realize being detached from your emotions or choosing what emotions to attach to is like a superpower. For the most part, if I'm angry, I don't attach to it anymore. I'm like, okay, so I'm feeling it right now. It's going to go. I actually read something the other day that it says an emotion can travel completely through your body in 1.5 minutes. 90 seconds is all it takes for an emotion to completely cycle through your body. In order for us to hold on to that emotion, there has to then be thought behind it. So this is where the overthinking comes in and the snowballing it into something bigger than what it is. That's where all of that comes in. And then that's the attachment. It starts in the mind. The emotion, obviously, that starts in the emotional body, but the mental body is the driving force behind the emotional body. So start to let your mind know, prove to your mind, show your mind that you can have emotions that are just there. There's no attachment. There's no reason to overthink them. There's no reason to have them like to make them make sense.